Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. My name is Deck, and if you enjoy talking about movies in any way, shape or form, you're going to feel right at home here. In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the new Vin Diesel action film, Bloodshot.
And initiate sequence.
Gina, I'm home.
Memories are made of this.
What is this place?
I'm sorry to be the one to tell you this, but you got yourself killed.
So Bloodshot stars Vin Diesel as Ray Garrison, a soldier who is killed in action and is reanimated and brought back to life, but this time with superpowers such as super strength and super healing. Now this film is based on the Valiant Comics series of the same name, and this was supposed to be kicking off the cinematic universe, but unfortunately I don't think this is the Iron Man that the studio had originally intended. That being said though, I do think this movie does have a lot of good things in it. I do think Vin Diesel as Ray Garrison is a pretty decent casting choice. I mean, looks wise, he does look fairly similar to Bloodshot in the comics, and also I think for a role like this, for a movie like this, I think Vin Diesel basically playing Dom Toretto actually works quite well for this, and I'm a big fan of Vin Diesel. I've got a lot of time for Vin Diesel. I think he's a really cool guy. So for me, I actually really like Vin in this movie. I think he does the role fine, and I think he's a perfect kind of choice for what this movie was trying to do. However, the true standout here is Eiza Gonzalez. She finally gets a role that is more than 5 minutes of screen time. I mean, I loved her in Baby Driver. I was so excited to see her in Hobbs and Shaw, but she only had about a minute there. Here, she actually gets a pretty decent supporting role, which has some good action scenes, some actual character moments, and I really enjoyed that. She's great in this movie, and I was really happy to see her because Eiza is just the best, and she's great in this movie. And there are actually some pretty cool concepts in the movie as well, which I really appreciated. Once they were explained to me a little bit and I was able to fully appreciate them, I actually think this film does have some really cool ideas and some really cool concepts in how to portray character motivation, and I really enjoyed that aspect of the movie. And I think the action's pretty fun. I mean, you've got Vin Diesel playing this superpowered human, and the action sequences reflect that pretty well. I actually think the action's really fun, it's quick, it's brutal, there's a lot of slow-mo. Like, it's a very entertaining movie to look at and watch, particularly when it comes to the action scenes. Direction-wise, the movie could be a bit better. I mean, those action sequences are a bit choppy and they can be a little bit difficult to see at times, which can be a bit frustrating, especially for a film like this which really is trying to demonstrate superpowers. It can be a little bit difficult to see what's going on screen. However, speaking of the director, this is his directorial feature debut, and it's really interesting to see that because this guy has a history in video game cutscenes and video game cinematics, and you can see that here. There's a particular scene in this movie, or a couple of scenes, where the characters in the film are trying to sort of set up this thing, and it's very much looking very similar to a development of a video game cutscene, and I feel like his history within that is reflected very much within the film, and I found that actually quite interesting to look at because there isn't really many video game people who work in film, and to see that kind of reflected in this movie I thought was actually really interesting and unique. However, the director does have this particular style in the movie which is very strange, which I don't know if it would have annoyed me as much if it wasn't pointed out to me initially, and I don't know if I would have picked up on it as heavily, but there is a particular style of how he uses the camera where it's often held behind certain objects or held behind certain characters, and it's a very strange directional choice because it's very difficult to kind of sometimes see people. Things are often out of frame, it's often very out of focus, so it's kind of strange movie to watch as the camera focus flips in and out all the time. And there's also these kind of black vignettes around the corners of the screen throughout a lot of the movie, and again, that's a very strange choice. It's a very Instagram filtery thing. I don't really understand why it's there. I found it a bit jarring and a bit distracting where it would just pop up every now and then, and again, it's a very weird choice that I've not really seen many movies do, if any, and it's very strange that I've never really seen it before, and it just kind of took me out of it. So overall, I enjoyed Bloodshot. I thought this movie was actually a lot of fun. Like I say, it's not perfect, it's not an amazing movie, you're not going to remember it in 10 years or anything like that. I'm probably not going to buy it on Blu-ray, but I thought it was a really fun movie. It's got some good action, some really cool concepts in there, and again, you actually get a really good performance from Eiza Gonzalez in here, which I was really happy to see because she is the best. And even though the movie is let down a little bit by its direction, I still think the director does bring his own sense and unique style, which, you know, it's better than having no style whatsoever. And I also think that his cutscenes in here that are very reflective of video game cutscenes and the development of them, I thought was a unique, interesting take to bring into a movie like this. So with all that said, I'm going to give Bloodshot a 3 out of 5. I thought this movie was a lot of fun. I had a great time with it. Again, it's not perfect. I think the direction could do some work, but again, this is a feature directorial debut, so this was a pretty decent attempt, I think, at making an action movie like this, and whether this continues the Valiant cinematic universe, I guess we'll wait and see, but I will definitely take a sequel to this if they want to make it. So have you guys seen Bloodshot? If you have, make sure to let me know all your thoughts about it in the comment section down below. Were you a fan of it or not so much? Whatever you think, let me know in the comments down below. And as always, guys, if you want to see more movie reviews and movie related videos just like this one, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any uploads from me, and I hope to see you guys again next time.